Money.
Oh yeah, you can't beat Don Prudhomme and Tom McEwen. Yeah.
No, those guys were fantastic back in those days. John Massmania and Little John Lombardo. It was fun to go watch those. You could go there on a Wednesday night and see those guys testing their cars. And then you could go back on Saturday night and watch them race. And if you were really crazy, you could go to Bakersfield and watch a Division 7 race. And you could go to Orange County on Saturday night and watch 3 or 4 of them match race, and then they drive back to Bakersfield and run on Bakersfield on Sunday morning. Yeah, those were the crazy days of drag racing.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of tracks then. You know, you could go to Irwindale, you could go to San Gabriel. You know, now we only got a couple of tracks. So now if you want to go race, you got to travel all over the place.
Yeah, when my dad started taking me to drag racing, I was like 4 or 5 years old, and that's when Snake and Mongoose were around, and Don Garlis and Chris Caramassini's. Well, he's still racing anyway, but he was.
Yeah, Don Garlis is actually racing too, but he races like a stock eliminator now at Dodge.
And
he's been racing that down in Florida.
Shirley Cha-Cha Muldowney. Yeah, but they used to have the big funny car events back then when I was young. My dad used to take me to Great Lakes Dragway in Wisconsin, and the one that closed down in Indiana, US 30 drag. They had a lot of funny cars.
Yeah, we would go to Orange County and they'd have 64 funny cars, or they'd have Hang 10 funny car meets. And it seems like every 2 weeks they had funny cars in Orange County or Irwindale. You know, you could drive to Irwindale. Of course, now it's got a brewery over at a Miller Brewery Company. The Irwindale, not the one they run now in 8th Mile, the real quarter mile. Right. When I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to watch
fun times.
TV Tommy Ivo and the Color Me Gone, Roger Lindenwood's Color Me Gone, and all those cars. Hawaiian, Roland Leon, man.
Roland Leon right now works on Jim Murphy's top fuel car. And the nostalgia deal. He's the crew chief on it. Pretty cool to see those old guys still out there doing it.
Oh, yeah. Then, of course, Jim Dunn owns Jim Dunn Racing. Hey, which John Hale was driving. Now you got Jim Campbell driving for Jim Dunn.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about how many years he's been doing it. Those old cars were the fireman's quickie cars and stuff. The rear motor car. We were at Orange County one time when the roof flew off it, and they had to glue the roof back on and pop rivet it back on and stuff. Those were pretty cool old days.
Yeah.
The other one that was really nice back in those days was Barry Setzer's Vega. Barry Setzer's Vega was really fast back in those days.
Yeah, you should try to come up to Great Lakes Dragway one day up in Union Grove, Wisconsin. It's a old legendary drag race track.
That's what everybody says. Everybody says that's pretty cool.
Quarter mile. Yeah, I think you'd have fun. You'd have fun up there.
Yeah, we had a pretty good time in Canada. We went to Edmonton, Canada. That was a pretty fun trip. We raced Spokane a lot. When Spokane was the old track before the new track, they had some pretty fun events up there with a zillion people would be there. You know, like right now we'll go to Denver, there'll be probably 25,000 people in the stands for a Saturday night show. I think he's got 8 nitro cars this time. He got a couple of top fuel cars, a couple jets. He has those Lucas Oil jets all the time.
So you think you'd ever run Funny Car Chaos?
Probably not. We're just gonna run the stuff. You know, I run maybe 6 races a year. Sometimes 5, sometimes 6, sometimes 4. It's about all I can afford to do.
Yeah. No sponsors?
Just Mickey Thompson, Lucas Oil, Control Cable. Canon gives me oil filters for it. It's hard to get sponsors on our deal because we don't have TV. If we had TV, we could get sponsors. But all those guys want to see TV stuff. We just don't have it in our deal. If we had it, I think you'd see a lot more sponsors in the deal.
So how many crew members you have?
Do what?
How many crew members you have for the funny car?
I have Brad that does the bottom end. I have me, Steve, Dennis Young. I have a guy named Steve Dickerman helps once in a while. You have some people that float in and out. I have a guy named Troy who's going to meet us up in Denver. He's going to help us up in Denver. Up in the Hot Rod reunion, I had the guy Don Cooper that owns the War Horse now. He wasn't running that weekend. He goes, "Hey, I'll come up and help you guys." So he came up and helped us. Him and his girlfriend, Cece. She backed the car up. Just a bunch of volunteers,
Man.
Good friends, good times, have fun. As long as everybody's having fun, we do it.
Oh, that's what they say. Drag racing is one big family.
Yeah, and if you're there and you need help, and the guy next to you is out, he'll come and help you. And we loan parts to each other. Yeah, it's definitely one big family.
So let me ask you this question. What was it like getting behind the wheel for the first time of the Nitro funny car?
What was it like?
Yeah, what was it getting behind the wheel for the first time in a Nitro funny car?
It wasn't quite what I expected. The first time I ran it, because we were learning about it, so it didn't run what I thought it was going to run. And then after a little bit of tune-up and a little bit of stuff, it started coming along, and then all of a sudden it starts setting you in the seat really good. Once you get it figured out. But you jump out of a 7-second Volkswagen and you jump into a 6-second car, and it's quite a bit different. And you go from a 6-second car to a 5-second car, and it's way different. The first time the car ran over 200 miles an hour, we were in Las Vegas, and the guys come down to pick me up. I said, "How much over 200 did it go?" They go, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, it had a different feeling." So it went over 200. Yeah, it went 209. I think we went like a 620 at 209, and that was with a steel big block Chevy in it. Because the first time I ran it just like they did in the old days. 427 Chevrolet in it, right? But the Chevrolet is way harder to work on than the Hemi's way easier to work on and makes way more power.
So now, do you only do quarter mile racing, or you do eighth mile too?
I've never done eighth mile with it. All the stuff out here is quarter mile.
So
we only have one 8th mile track, and they won't let us run there because we're too loud.
So now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
I'd like to run on Bakersfield. I like to run. We ran Pomona a couple times. That's a pretty nice track, really is. I ran the Texas Motorplex, but not with a nitro car. I ran that with a Volkswagen. That's a really nice track. We ran Spokane. We ran Seattle. I ran a place called Bend, Oregon. They have an 8th mile track up there, and I did run 8th mile in that, but I did it in the altered. I didn't do it in the nitro car. It was right before the nitro car. And the really nice track is Denver. They have water running through the starting line. They keep the starting line good. I mean, it can be 40 degrees up there, and you go right down the track. Where most tracks, you go out and smoke the tires. And at Denver, you just go right down the track. But you're at 9,000 feet. So the car doesn't run as fast.
Now let me ask you this question. Since you've been driving the Burnin Money funny car, who's been your greatest competitor?
Who's been the greatest competitor? I really don't know because we all race each other so much. And like I said, it's a big old family. Some of the match races, a match race with Gary Turner and Dale Poldy once. He was at one match race we went to. Dennis Taylor, the quarter pounder guys. I guess most of those, because we race so much around.
How about Ryan Connell?
Which car's that?
It's I can't remember. This is a long name. I can't even say the whole name of that car. But Ryan's like the Hawaiian guy. He's like Japanese. He was running the March meet.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. Oh, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Connell.
Ryan Akono.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Lemon's car.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. He really is. He works at Brad Anderson. He works at the place that I have all my motor parts from. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
So now
you got Chris Crable, you got I don't know, there's so many people. It's hard to keep track of everybody. You go there, sometimes there's 30 cars, sometimes there's only 20 cars, sometimes less.
Yeah, you got Brad Thompson.
Yeah. The prison guard?
Yep.
He's a big, tall guy, let me tell you. You don't find a lot of really big, tall guys drive buddy cars.
Then you guys.
Most of them are.
Then you guys, like you said, the quarter pounder, Jeff Moniz.
Yeah. You got John Hale. You got
Chris Moore.
Sean Bowen, Sean Bowen in the brown Camaro. He comes from back east.
Then you got Sean Van Horn in the Choo Choo Mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Morrell.
Yeah, when you're at the racetrack, you're usually pitted by 2 or 3 people that you know, and you hardly ever see any of the racing, right? You see the racing, the couple of cars are right in front of you that go, then you go, then you're back in the pit, tearing it apart, putting it back together. And, we socialize usually on Thursday when we get there. And then off that, you have Gary Dincham's son, too, Stephen Dincham. Second generation. You also have the guy that runs the good guys, Mark Nutters. He runs that Camaro. That runs pretty good.
Oh, and yeah, Michael Hofstad, too.
I've known Michael Halstead since he was 15 years old. He's turned out to be a pretty good kid.
Yeah, he won in Dragster March meet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Mike's Transmissions.
Yep.
He also drove the Lee Jennings Camaro, the funny car.
Yeah, he was supposed to actually drive. He was
the Code Red thing.
Originally, he was going to be driving 3 classes, but something happened with the fuel altered. They had a family death or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, otherwise he would have been doing 3 different nitro classes.
I drove mine as a fuel altered several times, but never with a Hemi. When I had it as a fuel altered, I had the Chevrolet in it. It's a different world driving with the headers up like that, and you're looking down a tunnel of fire. It's way different when you drive it at night for the first time. You drive it during the day and you don't think anything of it. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's no big deal. And you go out there and drive it at night.